Thank you everyone for joining us today for the panel discussion, Ecoculture in Motion, Green Tourism Initiatives as a part of Sustainable Danube Network. So I think that it is very, very interesting topic, and that after the discussion we will have concrete conclusions to be as the guidelines for our further activities. So as you can see in our agenda, we will have a keynote speaker, we will have very interesting panelists who will join us here at the stage later. But before we start, of course, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Jelica Grujic, and I am Head of Tourism Department in Ministry of Foreign Trade and Economic Relations. And I'm really delighted to be here with you today and to be moderator of our today's panel session. Our panel session is scheduled for 1.5 hours, a little bit less now since we are a little bit late, 10 minutes, but I hope that we will have enough time for very fruitful discussion. So today we will explore how ecocultural tourism can contribute to sustainability, innovation, and stronger local engagement across Danube region. As it is scheduled in our agenda, we have a keynote speaker. Her name is Božena Kaltak. She's head of UNDP office in Mostar, Bosnia and Herzegovina. She has long experience working on development and implementation of programs and projects focused on sustainable development, local development, and protection of natural resources. She has really long experience working in UNDP, and I have to be honest with you, whenever I read anything about Via Dinarica or see anything about Via Dinarica, first person who come to my mind is Božena. So about Via Dinarica, about UNDP projects, and of course about their plans for a future. Please, Božena, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Jelica. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm really glad to see you all here. Jelica mentioned most of the things about me, but the one that is also relevant is my previous engagement with the EU cross-border and transnational projects and programs, and I'm happy to contribute to one of those also at today's workshop. So, we have today very interesting topics to discuss, and I'm happy to hear later the panelists talking deeply about those topics. Let's start with the green tourism initiatives as part of sustainable development. As we all know, green tourism is a vital component of sustainable development, which seeks to balance economic growth, environmental protection, and social equity. In practical terms, green tourism, often referred to the terms of ecotourism or sustainable tourism, promotes travel practices and touristic visits that minimize negative environmental, social, and cultural impacts, while maximizing benefits for local communities and ecosystems. Green tourism supports the three pillars of sustainability: environmental sustainability, social sustainability, and economic sustainability. As I'm coming from UNDP, United Nations Development Programme, I would like to underline that in recently approved country program, for UNDP, covering the period 2026-2030, we have identified three very clear objectives that define our future work. That is supporting the green economic transition, strengthening human capital, and improving social cohesion and efficiency of institutions. UNDP will be pursuing interventions for more inclusive, regenerative, and resilient green tourism sector within these three objectives. The time frame of the new UNDP country program coincides with the last 5 years of the Agenda 2030, thereby giving UNDP an opportunity to accelerate Bosnia and Herzegovina progress towards achievement of sustainable development goals. The sector of tourism, amongst others, contributes to the achievement of the following SDGs. SDG 8, decent work and economic growth, SDG 12, responsible consumption and production, and SDG 13, climate action. Some of the benefits of green tourism are protect natural habitats, reduce pollution, support local economies, protect and revitalize cultural heritage, and enhance visitor satisfaction through authentic experiences. Key green tourism initiatives, as seen all around the world, are eco-friendly accommodation, sustainable transport, community-based tourism, conservation-focused activities, responsible visitor practices, and so on. Good examples of green tourism programs are the one in Costa Rica, which is a global leader in ecotourism with sustainable lodges and reforestation programs, in Scotland, where they are implementing green tourism business scheme, rewarding sustainable travel businesses. The second topic that we are going to discuss today is cultural heritage, as an important driver of green transition and sustainable development. Cultural heritage, both tangible and intangible, so meaning monuments, historic buildings, but also tradition, crafts, and cultural practices, is more than legacy of a past. It can actively shape sustainable future by promoting environmentally responsible practices. The green transition refers to the shift toward a low-carbon, resource-efficient and sustainable economy. Cultural heritage contributes to this transition by promoting sustainable building and conservation practices, by encouraging circular economy principles, by inspiring low-impact lifestyles. Cultural heritage intersects with all three pillars of sustainable development, of environmental one, social, and economic sustainability. We have examples of good practices very nearby. Revitalization of historic city center, for example, in Ljubljana, in Slovenia, using green mobility and adaptive reuse. Cultural landscape conservation in regions like the Alps and Andes, linking heritage and ecosystem protection. Therefore, cultural heritage today is not just a passive victim of climate change. It can be, and in some areas is, an active agent of transformation. By valuing traditional knowledge, promoting sustainable practices, and fostering community participation, heritage can drive the green transition and ensure that sustainable development is culturally rooted, equitable, and resilient. The third topic to be discussed is sustainable mobility. Promoting sustainable mobility by integrating travel into touristic experience means designing tourism in a way that the journey itself, not just the destination, becomes an enjoyable, meaningful, and environmentally responsible part of the experience. That is actually in the essence of Via Dinarica initiative that Jelica mentioned, because we promote Via Dinarica as a destination, as a hiking destination, that everybody, while walking along the trails of Via Dinarica, can enjoy. Good examples of sustainable mobility we can also find in this area, in Bosnia and Herzegovina. For example, scenic train or ferry routes with local guides or digital content sharing stories about the landscape or history. We have the train route Sarajevo-Mostar that has recently been listed at one of the top 10 routes in Europe. Themed walking or cycling trails. For example, we have old narrow Chiro trail, which is now cycling trail, which is cross-border trail, actually starting from Mostar and even further north down to the south to Dubrovnik across the border with Croatia. What we can do when promoting mobility in tourism, we can prioritize low carbon transport modes. We can promote cycling, walking, e-bikes or public transit as the best ways to explore. We can also design compact connected destinations. We again have example from Ljubljana where we have developed car-free zones or green corridors connecting major attractions. We can educate and inspire visitors, inviting them to travel like a local, therefore run campaigns showcasing how locals move sustainably. Collaboration in mobility is very important. Tourism boards, transport authorities, private sector and local communities must work together. For example, we can do joint marketing between rail companies and regional tourism offices. We have excellent example in Switzerland, where actually they have Swiss travel system, which is integrating all national transport, train, bus, boat, cable cars. In Copenhagen, they market themselves as a bike city, offering guided bike tours and easy rentals. The next interesting topic that will be discussed today is innovative ecotourism services combined with nature-based solutions in tourism. As we all know, and as we are all, most of us proud here that are dealing with tourism, tourism is one of the world's largest economic sectors. But unfortunately, it is also a major driver of carbon emissions, habitat loss, and resources loss. As destinations seek to recover sustainably, the focus is shifting from minimizing harm to actively restoring nature and communities, which is the essence of nature-based solutions. Ecotourism is responsible travel to natural areas that conserves the environment and benefits local people. Nature-based solutions are actions defined to protect, sustainably manage and restore natural or modified ecosystems that address societal challenges effectively and adaptively. Together, ecotourism and nature-based solutions, they create a new model of tourism that protects biodiversity, adapts to climate change, and enhances local livelihoods. Example of nature-based solutions applied in tourism are innovative ecotourism services integrating nature-based solutions like ecologies with regenerative design, blue ecotourism and marine nature-based solutions, agro-ecotourism and ecosystem services, tourists participating in regenerative agriculture. We have initiation of similar activities here in Bosnia and Herzegovina and wider in the region. Urban and community-based nature-based tourism, which is green roofs, city parks, and restored rivers that offer urban ecotourism experience. Innovative ecotourism services that integrate nature-based solutions transform tourism into a tool for ecosystem regeneration and climate resilience. Therefore, they promote nature, they promote local communities as partners, they promote tourists as agents of restoration. In doing so, tourism becomes a driver of the green transition, Aligning economic growth with ecological well-being. That is a new concept, but a concept that we should all pursue. Tourism that restores nature restores our future, and that is a kind of a sentence that we should remember. The next subject to be discussed is inclusive tourism definition that is defined as a form of tourism that ensures accessibility, participation, and equitable opportunities for all people, regardless of their age, gender, ability, socioeconomic status, ethnicity, or other characteristics. In Via Dinarica initiative, we are trying to support and motivate activities that are dealing with this inclusive tourism, that are involving different categories of population. And that is why we defined the 3 trails of Via Dinarica: white for the adrenaline seekers, the green for families, for elderly, and then also the blue one that provides opportunities for different categories. Core principles of inclusive tourism are accessibility, affordability, cultural inclusion, social equity, and universal design. Types of inclusive tourism, actually divided based on the categories of population, are disability-friendly tourism, senior tourism, age-inclusive tourism, low-income and budget tourism, gender-inclusive tourism, culturally inclusive tourism. Examples of inclusive tourism initiatives are numerous, but I will single out, for example, in Spain, blue flag accessible beaches, which offer wheelchair-friendly walkways, adopted showers, and assistive equipment. However, dealing with inclusive tourism has many challenges and barriers. For example, many destinations remain inaccessible to people with disabilities because there are many infrastructure gaps. Retrofitting facilities for inclusive tourism can be expensive. Tourism staff often lack knowledge on how to serve diverse groups. Also, there is a certain level of cultural sensitivity because ensuring authentic representation without stereotyping is sometimes a challenge. To conclude on this subject, we can say that inclusive tourism transforms travel into a human rights-oriented, equitable, and universally enjoyable experience. The last topic to be discussed today are local gastronomy in sustainable tourism, which refers to traditional food and culinary practices that are specific to a particular region, culture, or community. Local gastronomy connects visitors to the heritage, traditions, and natural resources of a place they are visiting. Why it is important for sustainable tourism? Because it brings along cultural preservation, economic impact, environmental sustainability, tourist experience enhancement. Key principles for gastronomy-based sustainable tourism are local sourcing, seasonality, cultural authenticity, community participation, and waste reduction. Good examples of sustainable culinary tourism are farm-to-table experiences, which are actually guests visit farms, learn about local crops, and cook meals with farmers. Culinary festivals, we have plenty of them in the area. Cooking classes and workshops, food trails, and markets. The famous one in this country, for example, wine routes in Herzegovina. There are challenges for dealing with this type of tourism as well. It is over-commercialization leading to loss of authenticity. Seasonal availability versus touristic demands, because tourists would like to come throughout the year, and we don't have some products all the time. Ensuring fair compensation to local products, managing waste and packaging in gastronomy tourism. To conclude on this topic, local gastronomy is a key driver of sustainable tourism because it strengthens cultural identity and heritage. Everybody is proud of what they have on their table, provides economic opportunities to local communities. Local communities are able to earn income on their doorstep, promotes environmental sustainability through local seasonal food, enhances the overall authenticity and quality of tourist experience. Tourists would like to see how the others live, what they eat, what are the practices and traditions. Therefore, food is not just a sustenance, it's culture, it's economy and nature given on a plate. To conclude this introduction, I would just say one sentence that I'm sure everybody here is aware of, and I hope we will carry out with us today and in the future. Green, inclusive, nature-positive tourism actually is the future. That's the only future that we have. Otherwise, we have a problem. And to repeat once again, tourism that restores nature restores our future. And we should try to attempt doing that while dealing with tourism in the coming days, months, and years. Thank you.
Thank you, Božena. Thank you so much for this comprehensive keynote speech, and she actually touched all items that we are planning to discuss today. I'm very glad that UNDP actually is planning new projects to be implemented in Bosnia and Herzegovina, and I hope regionally, and that they are going to be focused on green economy, human capacity, and social cohesion. We, as a Bosnia and Herzegovina representatives, we have very, very positive experience working with UNDP, and we really hope that we will continue that cooperation. So now we are on another part of our panel discussion. So if we take into consideration that number of tourists are doubled every 15 years, that is according to the analysis made by UN Tourism, and that of course now we are facing with some new consumer trends in tourism. So definitely we are facing one challenging period, how to create and how to develop the tourism products, and how to on a best possible way create activities that require economic growth, environmental protection, and community well-being. So about that, and of course another additional interesting topic, we will discuss with our speakers, our panelists today. So I will invite here to join me here for this table Mr. Ciprian Șerban, if I pronounce that well, General Manager of Astra Museum, Romania. Please have a seat. Mr. Stavros Kalagonomous, Executive Secretary of CPMR Balkan and Black Sea Commission. Please have a seat. Mr. Marko Radić, Head of Tourism Promotion Department of Tourism Organization of Republic of Srpska. Mr. Dragan Glavaš, BIH Head of Tourism Development Department, Agency for Cultural, Historical and Natural Heritage and Development of Tourist Potential of Town. Yeah, it's such a long introduction. Please have a seat. Mr. Andreas Sepp, or Shep, if I pronounce well, as from Estonia. He's representing EUSDR SR EU strategy for Baltic Sea region. Please have a seat. We will also have Ms. Eva Čaleta-Pleša from EU Strategy for Adriatic Ionian region. She will join us online. And Ms. Urška Dolinar, Slovenia Iskriva Institute, please have a seat there. So, since we are a little bit behind the schedule, I will, and due to some changing in our agenda because of the flight of our one participant, I would like to invite Mr. Andres Sepp, representing EU Strategy for Baltic Sea region, and he will present coordination cooperation from Estonian perspective. This is the oldest, I think, macro-regional strategy, and probably he has the best experience in this regional initiative. So the floor is yours.
Thank you. Slides? How does it work with the slides? Excuse me. How does it work with the slides? Yes. Do we have like a clicker or something?
Too much technology.
Yeah.
When I speak from you.
Whatever.
Because I don't understand.
Me too.
Because I cannot see the.
Yes, another click. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, perfect. Yes.
So it's okay. You can start.
Yeah. So, hello, and first of all, thank you for having me here. Thank you, Irina, for inviting me. My name is Andres Sepp. I'm the Deputy National Coordinator for the Baltic Sea Region Strategy. Just a very couple of words about our presidency. Our main priority is updating the action plan and also supporting Ukraine, increasing the visibility of the strategy, and engaging the youth. And we organize an annual forum in June, 8 to 10 of June next year. You're all welcome. We hope to send out the calls anytime soon. I will start by giving you a very brief overview about the long-term vision of Estonian tourism, after which I will focus more on ecotourism, as is the topic for today. So the Estonian long-term tourism vision, which is also a public document, you can all read about it later, follows the principle that by the year of 2033, we want to be well-known, sustainable, and innovative destination, and double the added value of the tourism sector. According to the vision, tourism satisfaction will be high, both among Estonians and visitors. And we hope to attract business visitors and also leisure visitors. Estonia foresees that the tourism sector will become more competitive and resilient. And to achieve that vision, we hope to increase the share of higher value-added tourism, significantly enhance Estonia's visibility as a tourism destination, make a developmental leap in tourists' mobility options, as well as in the digital accessibility and availability of tourism products and information. Support the creation of strong tourism products outside major attractions. Enhance the reputation of the tourism sector. Ensure an enabling role for the public sector in tourism development by analyzing and considering the impact of policy decisions on the tourism economy, and create a strong and smart tourism economy throughout Estonia. As a result of achieving these goals, we expect the following changes will have taken place by 2035. That Estonia will be better known. We will be better recognized in target markets, thanks to exciting international events held all year around and high-quality business tourism opportunities. Tourism will be a reputable field for self-realization and entrepreneurship. And we will be more sustainable. We will be welcoming and open to visitors, motivating even first-time guests to enjoy an environmentally friendly stay. We will have contributed to preserving our natural environment, culture, and heritage. And travel to and within Estonia will be seamlessly convenient and accessible for everyone. And finally, we hope to be more innovative, which in this case means that we will have creatively integrated Estonia's uniqueness and distinct character into tourism products. We will be proactively aware of visitors' needs through technology and data-driven tourism products. And we will offer unique tourism experiences through the smart use of digital technology. And finally, tourism entrepreneurs will be committed to sustainability and able to demonstrate it. After reading this long text, which I translated from Estonia with AI 5 minutes ago, it reminded me of my first job, first real job 20 years ago. I was the volunteer coordinator at this organization called Youth for Understanding. It's about high school student exchange. And we had about 100 foreign students coming to Estonia to study in different small places. They learned the language. And many of them, I remember, from Germany, Japan. They were very much interested in our beautiful nature. And it is more than half of the territory is covered with forest. So nature is a very good way to attract tourists to Estonia, and we hope to keep it that way. Now, narrowing my presentation, eco-culture in motion, as was I told to talk about, and I will try to give you an Estonian perspective of what we do specifically in green tourism in Estonia. So, I do love finding images of presenting Estonia because I've been doing it quite long. I mean, I love mixing nature and digital stuff. So this is the image that I have for my country, that you have the nature, but it's also very innovative. So, and I think it's a great sort of dual vision or dual image that our country has. So what do we mean by sustainable tourism in Estonia? I mean, you can read it on the slide, which actually is, quite understandable universally. So sustainability is really something that we value, something that I also personally value, because we want to leave the country for our children to be as nice and clean and attractive as possible. Here are a couple of principles that we try to follow. Again, I won't read them out loud. You have the slides, you can do that later on. It's all public information. So yeah, I mean, just by looking at the house, I mean, really trying to incorporate even architecture to the nature. I mean, we have a long way to go. I lived, for instance, in Denmark. There's this wonderful museum of Louisiana, about an hour from Copenhagen. And this is so beautifully integrated to the local landscape. And I see a lot that also in Estonia. You have small hotels in the middle of the forest covered with glass. And they're like cubics, so they look very, very, very nice. We also export some of those to other countries. So I think sort of combining, on a personal note, combining architecture, export, nature, you can get some quite interesting results. Again, 5 last points, how to differentiate by acting sustainably. I really like the first point, avoiding peak season mass tourism. We kind of had that. I remember living in Tallinn Old Town 20 years ago. There were so many cruise ship tourists, and tourists from Asia that it was almost impossible to move around the streets. Then COVID happened. I moved back from Denmark to Estonia in 2022. It was dark. The old town was empty. Inflation was high. The war had just started. But now finally we get people back. I mean, the bars are filled again. We get tourists also from closer regions. But it's difficult for us to be competitive because thanks to the EU, there has been quite a high inflation in Estonia, and I personally can't afford for a vacation in my own country because it's too expensive. I have to go to Greece. So yeah, innovation, creativity, all very nice words. We really try to do our best to attract as many tourists as possible, because now, especially after the war started, we have, for obvious reasons, cut almost all the economic ties with Russia. So we need to find our income from elsewhere. And tourism is a way, and some say that in a matter of time, the Mediterranean will get so hot that it's impossible to live and attract tourists. So you're all welcome to enjoy the cool summers in Estonia. Yeah, but if you can afford it, because it's really expensive. Yeah, but yes, I mean, this was my brief intervention. If you have any questions, drop me a line, look me up on LinkedIn. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. It was very interesting to hear your presentation. But maybe just before we start with another panelist, I'm very interested because you put in your presentation for your principles to be followed is to be measurable and accountable. Whenever we are talking to measure something, especially in this project, so just briefly, how it was challenging for you and what actually you did to accomplish that goal?
I don't know that. This is not my field of expertise. Well, I am a civil servant by education, so I'm not very good at quantitative studies. But what I can say is that, I mean, it's very difficult to measure sustainability. I mean, you do have the Millennium Development Goals, many other standards you can follow. I don't know. I mean, this is not really my field of expertise, and I don't want to talk about something that I don't know.
Thank you so much, Eto, because I just wanted to ask that, because whenever we are doing some kind of analysis, how to do that, it is so complex. Yeah. So Urška, maybe to
it is probably there in the strategic document somewhere. If you're interested, I can send it to you.
Yeah. Well, Urška, she wants to add something on this topic.
I can share. Greetings to all. Oops. Okay. Everything under control. I can share the experience from Slovenia. One thing is that we just introduced, so Slovenian Tourism Organization, the National Tourism Organization, just introduced the National Tourism Information System, which directly links to statistical office and all the arrival data and so on. And also it links to data from accommodations and other services. And also we have a scheme called Slovenia Green, which certificates sustainable accommodations, attractions, and so on. And right now they are integrating those two systems. So I think in next year we should really have accountable data on, of course, more and more indicators are being added. It's not simple, like you said, measuring waste and water consumption and so on, but I think we are quite on a good way there.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Urša, very much for your intervention on this, because that is something that we are always facing a problem, what to do and how to do, and definitely we can share experience with your country to do that in the future. So now I would like to invite Mr. Sherban, General Manager of Astra Museum. So she will present. He will present us about the Astra Museum. And I have to be honored, we had 2 days ago steering group meeting, and after his presentation, he was the only one who got applause. So I hope that the applause will be bigger now today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Can I have that one, please?
Yes, of course.
Hello. First of all, thank you for the invitations. Thank you so much, Irina. It's really nice to be here. And so I already present you something Monday, but now I want to present you not our CV as a museum, but how we managed to use our platform to develop rural communities and also urban communities. Astra Museum is one of the largest open-air museums in Europe. And because of that, we have huge spaces where we can play. And when I say play, yes, we play with the heritage. Why? Because we have to understand the heritage and how heritage is provided for the green transition. First of all, we have to assume that we, the worker from the cultural sector, and then to educate the communities and the people, and also one of the most important resources that we still have in this part of Europe, not just in Romania, our human resources from the countryside. The craftsmen, the old people who have the skills, who have the know-how, but right now nobody put value on them. So we have started using them, not using them, to make them understand that they are important for the future, for our society, and to make them understand that they have a lot of ideas and a lot of know-how for what? For the sustainability. If now we go everywhere in Romania, in Bulgaria, in Bosnia, everywhere, to ask in the rural areas what means for your green transitions, they don't have a clue, but they live it. They live it. So that's the reason we change a little bit the missions. I won't stay too much on our values and so on and our history, because I understand the presentations will be sent it to you, to all of you. And I want to say how we play with the heritage. Yes, we start with the collections, but we go in the communities and we go in the cultural landscape. As in all this part of Europe, in Romania, 47% of our people lives in the countryside. More than 80% of our UNESCO sites are in the countryside. More of our cultural tourism, we don't have cultural tourism, but let's say we have, yes, is in the countryside. And then we start doing other things, developing heritage communities, because first of all, the first people who has to assume those resources in the cultural heritage sector are the communities, not us the workers, the communities. If they will assume that, and we try to build and we succeed to build heritage communities, then it will be very simple to implement projects and to show the economical value of their resources, of their value. And in this way, we build what we like to say, we build roads for remaining home. This is our main goal. But I will make a small, let's say, I will cut a little bit my speech, and I want to say something. We develop our infrastructure thanks to EA grants, Norway grants. We succeed to have more than 12 million euro in our infrastructure. But the strategy for developing our museum and our region was built in the last financing period of Southeast European program, now is Danube project. There we build our strategy for developing, that was finished in 2013. Since then, we still respect that strategy, and also the strategy for developing the cultural landscape. So Interreg project really helped us a lot in order to develop what we are now in our level. This is, yes, this is. This is what we present, I present on Monday. The last hour project is Center for Activities and Regional Resources, where we don't just certify the competencies of the craftsmen from the countryside or rural areas or urban areas, but we also make training for them, and also we show to the authorities how green transitions can be, how we are a provider for the green transitions, because there is a huge market in Romania for the restorations with a lot of money. But they didn't have the legal framework in order to work with the proper persons and also with the proper materials. Because using the proper materials in the restoration fields is a part of the green transitions, is a part of the sustainability. Cutting the trees in the proper period, using the earth from the proper region or places from the countryside for the plaster and so on. So here is not just about certifications of the competencies, it's about building a future in the restoration field when we talk about the rural areas, but also urban areas. And the certifications program now is very well known in Romania and also in European level. We want to extend it because right now we have only for the building people, for the people who work in the building preservations. Now we extend it to the artisans, to the potter, to the textiles and blacksmiths too. But everything starts from our research program. So we are focused in Romania in a few regions. The most important one for us is not just our region, is Danube Delta, which is an UNESCO site. So Danube Delta is not just about natural landscape, it's about also cultural landscape, how people shape the natural landscape during the history, what to do for that people, how to make them understand that their know-how and their skills can be provided also for the local development, because everybody wants to learn how to do a fishing tool in order to fish in a traditional way. To explain that to the visitors who came there, otherwise Delta of Danube will be destroyed. Why? Because we have there not over-tourism, we have a bad tourism over there. One-day tourism which really destroy the channels and also the community. They don't have anything what to gain, but they have a lot of resources, they have a lot of informations, and they know to do things. That is where we have to be involved as a museum, as a cultural institution. About our exhibitions program, for sure, we go deeply to the young people, because we need to bring the young people in a museum. Bringing them in the museum, then it's up to us how we manage to educate them to understand the meaning of the green transitions, of the sustainability, and yes, to stop a little bit the extremism, because it's growing in Romania, and it starts with the people who, from 18 years old to 26 years old. So they have to know the real value of our traditions, of our national identity, not in a bad way. Sorry. Preservation restorations program is not just for our museum. It's for 26 open-air museums in Romania. It's for more than 3,000 historical buildings in the rural areas in Romania. But for that, you have to teach communities and authorities to understand when is the proper period to cut the branches for the roof, when is the proper period to cut the wood for the restorations, and how many people do they have in their community that they are able to work. How to make them understand, okay, it's time to teach them to be entrepreneur, because they can gain money and they can stay in the community. It's about local development in this way. So when we talk about preservation and restorations program in a museum, you think everything is closed. No, in our museum, everything is very open. And very open, not just for the visitors, it's for the decisional makers and also for the private sector. Romania, Hungary, Serbia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Slovenia, Macedonia, all these Balkan countries still have the most important resources in their region, in their countries, human resources, intangible cultural heritage people who have the skills and the know-how. It's not enough to bring them in our events, to promote them, to show them to the people. They are great, they are doing great pottery stuff and textiles and so on. No, it's now the time to assure a market for them. And also to make the young people understand that they can live if they will learn a craft and they can gain money. And in this way, we'll have a future of our intangible heritage in our countries. And try to remember, and I know that you agree with me, we still have these most important resources, human resources, in our countryside. And they can be a provider not just for the green transition, they can be a provider for sustainable development. They can be an example for what means green transition. It's up to us how we mediate all these things for them and to them. We start our educational program in an open-air museum. For sure, it's very simple. Okay, the schools come, blah, 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 play 1 hour, 2 hours, and don't go back to school. No. That is not enough. So now we are involved in all our rural areas from the region and also in the cities of Sibiu and Bucharest too. To talk about the heritage, but to play with the heritage. Not just for the first degrees, also for the gymnasium and high school too. And we want to bring the technology in our educational part, just a little bit. Why? Because in this way they will feel the tradition. And we, step by step, we start educating them to understand the meaning of what everybody says, green transition, sustainability, nature, cultural landscape, natural landscape, and so on. So practical things for us is very important. And it's very important for us to be there at the main level, not in the office. When you talk about the heritage and about the multiculturalism, which now is not anymore such a big problem in Europe, but sometimes it is a problem locally. We managed to build this interpretation cultural program, not just for us, but also for the communities. What you see in those pictures, there are communities, not just Romanian people, but also our national minorities in the museum and outside of the museum. Because if we build an event in the museum, then we go back in the community. Why? Because there is very important to work and to make them understand about their resources and all the values that they have, if they want to develop themselves, and if they want really to transform those values in a local engine for local development. One of the best programs of us is Cultural Landscape Program. Now in Romania, we have more than 120,000 families that move from the urban areas to the rural areas. So they need expertise, they need consultancy, because they don't want to destroy the landscape. Yes, we have that expertise, we have this know-how and skills. How is a museum a provider for the green transition? In this way, explaining them practically how manage to build a fence, how manage to build an alley, or to dig the garden, and what plants they can plant in the garden, not to bring, I don't know, plants from exotical countries like it's happening in other parts of the country. This is my favorite program, traditional gastronomy program, because here we talk about the waste management. We talk about waste management that still exists in our rural areas from all the countries. It's about the seasonality of the food, but it's also how we connect the gastronomy with the craftsmen. Because in HoReCa sector, there is a need of the pottery stuff, wooden stuff, and so on. How we connect them to make them understand, okay, those products can be in your restaurant, you can eat from a potter very well, and in this way you promote what? Local tradition, local food. This is circular economy. This is our main goal of this program, and by the way, Saturday I will cook in the museum a very old recipe in a special instrument. And for sure, we have also conferences, because research, scientific research is very important for us, and we are very focused on in the restoration program. We have also this anthropology program, Astra Film Festival, maybe you heard about it, and now we managed to have movies only connected with the green transitions, with the climate changes and sustainability. Because also for the biggest expert in Romania, it's very hard to understand what sustainability is, and trust me, I know what I'm saying. Editorial program and so on. So this is not a publicity. Yes, it is a publicity of our museum, but this is not the main goal for me to present you our museum. I want to present you how a cultural platform can develop society and communities through the heritage, and how we can be a provider, a real provider, not theoretical but practical, for the green transition. Thank you so much, and looking forward to receiving you in Sibiu.
Thank you. Thank you. Does it work? Yeah. Thank you so much for your presentation, and maybe just briefly, just to tell us, you said rich of cultural heritage, but no cultural tourism. What actually we can do as a first step to do something concrete in that field? As a first step, just very briefly.
Yes, I think connecting all the projects. You know, when you talk about project in cultural field, you have to connect it with the valorizations. If you don't have valorizations, it's not enough to restore a historical building. If you don't have a strategy or a clue how that monument restored, it's important and can bring added value in the community. And that is not enough in the theoretical part. I mean, we should put more money in all the project in concrete examples, concrete events, not just in strategy and in theory. This is my opinion, because there you can have, you know, I mean, it can be assumed by the community, and it can prove that historical building, okay, yes, that historical building, it is a small engine for local development. Then it will be easy.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So now I would like to invite Mr. Stavros Kalognomous. Did I pronounce that well? I don't think so that this is okay. So I speak very loudly, so I do not need mic for this presentation. Please, the floor is yours.
It's fine.
So, fine. It's okay. Okay. So thank you very much. Yes. I'll try to be as brief as possible so that we have time for the other panelists and the debate. Okay, thank you. So, shortly, in a nutshell, what is the CPMR and why we are here? So we are the Conference of Peripheral Maritime Regions, an association of regions with a macro-regional structure since its foundation, its establishment in 1973. We have 6 geographical commissions that correspond to the main sea basins of Europe, so a macro-regional approach, and I'm in charge of the Balkan and Black Sea Commission. We are an independent organization, we are based in France, and we are an official interlocutor of the European institutions, mainly of the European Commission's DG Regio, that is in charge of the macro-regional strategies, and the European Parliament. We operate as a think tank and a lobby organization, and we promote our members' interests at the European level. We also participate in EU-funded projects, and this allows us to provide the EU decision makers with useful feedback for their future planning when it comes to policies, macro-regional strategies, and so on. Yes. We also hold the secretarial support of the European Parliament's Jelica intergroup, that means seas, rivers, islands, and coastal areas. We have a specific vice chair for the Danube and the Black Sea, Mr. Lazarov from Bulgaria, and we are open to your proposals so that we can organize different Danube-focused events at the European Parliament in Brussels. Just before getting back to us, make sure that your proposal has a blue dimension in order to meet the objective of Jelica. Just to seize the opportunity and benefit from what the previous speaker said, our Vice President as Balkan Black Sea Commission is the President of the Tulcea County Council, Danube Delta in Romania, Mr. Todorescu. So you can count on him for more visibility when it comes to your work regarding the Danube. Then, the Tural project that we are here to share with you. Yes. It is an Horizon Europe project promoting a multidimensional model of tourism, verticals, and a sustainable balanced growth among the rural and remote grids and the urban clusters in the Adriatic Ionian and the Black Sea. So, as you may understand, it covers also Danube countries. The Danube partners are from Bulgaria, Croatia, Romania, and Ukraine, and the coordinator is from Greece, so the Adriatic Ionian strategy. Tural focuses its work on niche sectors, such as underwater cultural and natural heritage tourism, cultural and creative tourism, cultural science tourism, and silver tourism. And these niche sectors have been studied in 6 pilot regions. 4 of them are in EUSDR countries. Here we see some photos of the different Tural events that were held in EUSDR countries. You can see in Romania, in Croatia, in Ukraine. Yes, thank you. We stay here. So, Tural, during the last months, under the International Black Sea, Center for Black Sea Studies, has organized 6 living labs. 4 of them were in Danube countries. These living labs were organized together with the partners in the pilot sites, and they had an approach to define the problem, envision the future, and backcast the future to see how the different scenarios worked. The living labs altogether gathered around 257 stakeholders from a wide array of fields, such as policy, industry, academia, and civil society organizations. And they identified, next slide, yes, thank you, and the identified challenges. So the most identified challenges were lack of tourism facilities and infrastructure, shortage of skilled workforce that was already mentioned, and the lack of well-organized communication strategy. We see that most regions have their own strategy and they don't always coordinate with an overall macro-regional strategy, national strategy, or a wider European strategy. They also identified priorities. That is, the extension of the tourism season for all year-round tourism, development of networks, of cooperation networks and public-private partnerships, and the training to develop specific skills, since they say that there is a need for more qualified and skilled workforce. The identified solutions they have seen after the living labs is the integration of the local communities and traditions, as the previous speaker said. So we need them to be more integrated into the industry to promote the local and natural resources they have. The need of tailor-made tourism packages so that we attract diverse target groups such as artists, and the development of tourism experience with the help of digital technologies and different applications. What's next? Yes. There is an international conference that is being held in Marseille in France, end of January 2026. And if there is anyone interested in this conference, they are more than welcome to submit their abstracts by the 10th of November. And a last example, yes, of how we operate as CPMR with the other macro-regional strategies. You can see what we are working on with the coordinators of Pillar 1 of the Adriatic-Ionian macro-regional strategy, that means Greece and Montenegro, on a Pact for Blue Skills. The first results will be presented in December this year. And yes, and here you can find, I have all the hyperlinks on the slides, so you can easily find them. You can find the different EU-funded cooperation projects that we work currently as CPMR with our members and partners from across Europe. Thank you very much for your attention. Hvala.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Maybe just briefly, you mentioned about the project that you are going to launch next days and where Bosnia and Herzegovina also will be the partner. Maybe just briefly to tell us what is the project about and who will be your partner in that project.
So thank you very much for that. This is an Interreg Euromed project. Bosnia and Herzegovina is an eligible country. This project is about strengthening an innovative, sustainable economy and better water management in rural areas. So rural areas that also need to attract tourism, they need to manage their water resources better. Our coordinator is the University of Patras in Greece, and our Bosnian partner is the Ministry of Agriculture, Forestry and Water Management of Herzegovina and Neretva Canton. It will be a 45-month project. We have different partners from the Danube macro-regional area as well, and also we have an associated partner from Romania, from the Danube Delta. So the Danube Delta National Institute is an associated partner to the CPMR, and will follow up together with you and the different pillar priority area coordinators of the strategy about the results. So we'll get back to you, we'll share information, and your feedback is more than welcome as well.
Thank you so much. And now I would like to invite Mr. Marko Radic for his presentation. We have more 20 minutes. I hope that we will all have time for...
Na taj ću. Jeste, može. Može. Hello everyone. Thank you to organizers for the invitation and opportunity to be part of this important forum today. In this short presentation, I will lead you through our messages about gastronomy, our understanding of what gastronomy means to us, and the way we present it. I can say that gastronomy is a part of our tourist offer that we should fear the least when it comes to tourist feedback. We are gourmets, we enjoy food, and we convey that sense of trust through tourism. Even though tourism is separated into entities level in Bosnia and Herzegovina, we cannot and shouldn't talk about it without talking at the state level. Gastronomy is a mirror of our culture and ourselves, whether it's honey and cicvara, cheese from the sack, or zmijenje cake, or every dish we made here from the heart of our local producers connect our past with the future and tells the story of our people and our land. The modern travelers look for a true connection. They value local culture, and there's no better way to experience it than through food. Gastronomy reflects who we are and lies in every heart of every journey. To truly know a place, you must taste its story. That's why our focus on food is such of strength for our destination. There's no brand, there is a soul, food as an experience, and hospitality as identity. That is Bosnia and Herzegovina, and if we compare it to pizza in Italy, for example, croissant in France, paella in Spain, or tacos in Mexico, we don't have that kind of food brand. But if you ask a tourist about our food, they will probably say cevapi, and that's a good start. But our real signature is a feeling. Every guest leaves with a warm story and sense of belonging. That emotion turns a simple meal into a lasting memory of our destination. Imagine a visitor who doesn't just taste our cheese, but learns how it's made, meets the family behind it, and joins in. That tourism who protects what matters. It is authenticity you can translate, you can only feel. This is what modern tourists seek. Across our country, we open our doors and share the stories of our tradition, making guests a part of them. Our goal is simple. We don't just want visitors, we want ambassadors of our home. It is an ongoing process. Because of that, we are constantly trying to educate as many people as possible who already produce local products and live in the rural areas to learn how to share the experience of the production process with the guests. This slide is about a current project involving 10 partners from 9 countries, including Bosnia and Herzegovina and Banja Luka City Development Agency. It's about gastronomic stories and sustainable development. Just a small note about their work. We are especially proud of our local supply chains. They help tourists find real local products, give producers new income and branding opportunities, and allow city municipalities as founders to better understand and support local production. It's like about agricultural cooperatives and local networks. United small producers have greater strength and better market opportunities, and I would just like to point out that there is many private initiatives that connect people, enhance cooperation, and increase income diversification for locals, often through offerings based on tourism-related experiences. And across almost all local communities in Bosnia and Herzegovina, there are countless food-related events. The photo shows one from Trebinje, known as wine region, that now hosts the prestigious wine and gastronomy festival, Wine Fine. And what I love most about it, it's a true Mediterranean spirit. You can simply take a glass of wine and sit on a step made of Herzegovinian stone. And it's a real experience of the moment of the place you are in. At the end, this is just a small part of what we do, but we strive to do it well because it matters both for our local community and for the people who visit us. Thank you.
Does it work? Yeah. Thank you, Marco, so much. I hope that we will not be so hungry after this presentation, but lunchtime is at 1 o'clock, so we have to, to be very fast. Maybe just to add something, because it was very interesting to mention Herzegovina certified as a green destination with a green destination certification. So you mentioned that from the economic point of view, but I'm very interested about that promotional point of view. How actually in a world when now we are promoting everything via networks, via social networks, via using IT technology, that kind of promotion when actually you can taste the product, you can smell the product, you can touch the product, how actually is successful that kind of the promotion? Because I know that Herzegovina is not only in Herzegovina, but in Austria, for example, in Serbia. So the results of that promotional activity, how can you use that as a promotional tool?
Yeah, I was director of tourist organization in Trebinje. I was director of tourist organization in Trebinje in the start of that project, and I went through all process of that. I would like to point out that Herzeg House has been a strong promotional tool from the beginning of the project. We are started in 2017, and our goal wasn't just to increase product sales. We want to show the true spirit of Herzegovina through them. Today, Herzeg House is a well-known brand, and similar models now exist in other areas in Bosnia and Herzegovina. For example, Krajina House, House of Potkozari, House of Lijevče, and many more. Tourists come there to find something that could connect them through with the region. And example of Herzeg House is used by consultants who work on development strategies across the region, and as I know, even in Albania now. They received global recognition in 2023 through Green Destination Project Award, which named Herzeg House the best in the world in local supply chains. Currently, work is underway to open in Vienna. We will see how things will go with exporting the products. I'm not sure about it, but they are currently working on it. One of the main benefits of Herzeg House or Krajina House, for example, is what it brings to local community and generally to producers. First, the initiative gave local producers a chance to brand their products and sell them under the well-known mark of quality. It's also important that tourists now have a safe place, secure place to buy authentic and trusted products. Local economy is stronger. There are new chances for producers to grow and sell more. There are more jobs. Villages' tradition are preserved and more improved. And every producer who joins this project gets support and opportunity they could rarely achieve alone. So that's...
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Marco, so much. Thank you, and now I would like to invite Mr. Dragan Glavaš. I will not read the title because it's too long, so please, the floor is yours.
So thank you very much for the invitation. I will just shortly before the video starts comment on the first question: how is sustainable management or sustainable destination measured? So just our experience, and I hope the data will be published very soon. We have 3 pillars. We try to analyze how much electricity is per tourist spent in the destination with the context of local community, how much water are they spending, and how much waste they are creating in the places where they are staying. So we try to get the data in tourism as much as possible, and then to make decisions in context with that. So there are some tools that we can actually manage how much impact are tourists making in the community. And as a 4th pillar is actually how is the community satisfied with tourists in their own places, in their own locations, and how they are changing their own behaviors from the side of the locals in context of tourism. So it is a very, very interesting tools to actually try to measure the impact of tourists in the local destinations. So now I will leave you to the video, and then we can discuss some topics about that. Welcome to the 14th edition of the EU strategy for the
Thank you very much for this very inspiring presentation. And maybe just in one short sentence, what was the main challenges in application of the nature-based solution in the ICE? Just very briefly.
So there are of course a few, but from my point of view, because I led some or most of the projects there, it's actively engaging with the community. So it is not only the part of tourism that you need to communicate with the local community, it is almost all of the aspects of their own life. If you do that in that context, then they are invited to be more integrated in the projects like this ones. But because of that, there is often a few challenges how to get them actively to be a part of the projects, to make them or to get them to comment on it, to actively engage in it, to spend some time on it, and so on. But it is not only for us. Many destinations have their own challenges with the community engagement in projects. So
thank you so much. Thank you so much. Well, now we will have our online connection. Can we connect with Eva?
Hello, good day. Hello to everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes, Eva. Yes, Eva. Thank you so much for joining us, and the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. I do have a presentation, a few slides. Do I need to share it, or you can do it, and then I can just say next slide. Okay, I can share it. Okay. Yes, can you see it?
Yes, please.
Okay,
just
great.
Briefly.
Very briefly.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, from the EUSDR perspective, a few words on green tourism initiatives. From Pillar 4, Sustainable Tourism, I'm the coordinator, and together with the Republic of Albania, Ministry of Tourism and Sport of Republic of Croatia, coordinates this thematic pillar. This is our strategy, EUSDR. We have seas, Adriatic and Ionian Sea. We have 10 countries participating, 4 EU countries, 5 country candidates, and 1 third country, San Marino. And I will briefly inform you and share information in the light of a new revised action plan for our strategy that was adopted this year in May. And we stayed on the same path of sustainability when we talk about the tourism, but with the thematic pillar of sustainable tourism, there is also other pillars: blue sustainable economy, connecting the region, transport and energy, environmental quality, and within the new revised action plan, we got a 5th strategic pillar: improve the social cohesion. And this is important information because when we talk about the tourism, the new period, the new era for EUSDR, it's important to better connect, to better work together within the pillars and within the topics. It is also important to say, when we talk about the green initiatives in tourism, that horizontal priorities and the cross-cutting themes, as we can see on the screen, there is a circular economy, green rural development, digitalization, research, innovation, and developments. These all topics and priorities are also important when we talk about the tourism in the macro region in the future. So with all these changes, not big changes, but very important, the strategy enters a new phase, a new era, and with the push of the European Commission, we really hope to also to boost the macro region. And what does it mean for Pillar 4, for sustainable tourism? The main change within the new action plan is a new topic, and the topic is called greening of tourism products and services. Two other topics, the first and the second, they are a little bit improved from the previous action plan, but it's still about the transition, green and digital, not only tourism, but also cultural heritage. And to make this transition, we need knowledge, we need skills, and we need people to manage tourism properly and sustainably. Greening of tourism products and services bring us new challenges since it goes into cooperation and with other sectors, namely agricultural sector, fish sector. So this is something that we will face new challenges, how to work and how to deal with this topic. I will also here inform you about the latest activity within Pillar 4 and a new action plan. The process of working and establishing a working group and the start of the work on the new flagship on the topic of Mediterranean diet and local organic and origin productions, which is in line with Action 3. And actually, it is connected to the this year's forum in Crete, where we already decided to have a topic on Mediterranean diet as a tool for sustainable tourism. So after the thematic panel in the forum, we continued to have a interesting workshop in Bari this autumn, and in 2 days, 3 pillars connected with a different private and public stakeholders, and we put ourselves a new challenge to organize and to create a new flagship on the topic of Mediterranean diet and sustainable tourism. The challenges are cooperation, communication with different sectors, with the different pillars, how we can contribute to the macro region. And that's why we split workshops in 3 specific objectives, and we need to identify the potential partners and how to work with them, put some rules and arrangements, and what will we do with the flagships, what are planned activities. So this is something that is coming us to the in the next period and the next coming not only month but years. Some of the workshop conclusions are put on this slide, but from my own perspective, what will be probably the most challenging is how to put all this knowledge and all this initiative under one umbrella, and how to not too much interfere in other sector, but stay within our sector and to listen to each other and to work together for the benefit of the whole macro region. Why did we choose Mediterranean diet? It's not only food, it's not only tourism, it's not only culture, it's everything together. It's a really holistic approach to tourism, and we can all agree that it's a way of life, and this could be a valuable tool for cooperation and for progress of the local communities. The Mediterranean diet is well known, already recognized by UNESCO, by Food and Agriculture Organization. So we kind of going outside of our comfort zone. We go outside of the program even area of the EUSDR, but we are ready for some new ideas, new perspectives, and a new path. So I would like to thank you all for your attention. I will share my presentation and my contact, and I will gladly stay. I'm at the disposal for some more questions or discussion.
Okay, thank you, Eva, so much. Thank you for informing us about the new action plan and priorities that will be in the future, especially about new flagship Mediterranean diet. So it is very very exciting topic to be discussed in the future. So thank you for joining us online, and unfortunately you couldn't be here in a person, so next time probably, and I really hope that we will meet in a person. So the last but not the least, Ms. Urška Dolinar from Iskriva Institute, so the floor is yours.
Welcome you all and thank Mrs. Irina Kozma for having this opportunity to present you our work. I fully agree with what my colleagues said before, and especially our Romanian colleague from the Astra Museum. We need more projects that put things on the ground, that work really in the communities and help them to develop products and together sell them everywhere, globally, I would say. So we really see inclusive tourism from both perspectives. We had a really nice presentation from Mrs. Kaltak. On one hand, including all kind of groups in the area and also including tourists in what we do so that they can really get to know our heritage, our food, and so on. So I have quite some slides. I will not go into all details, but you will be able to see that. Maybe first, who is Mysterious Iskriva, because it was not really written. It's an NGO from Slovenia, and we work from international to local level. We have these 3 pillars, and I will present mostly Amazon of Europe, and then how it also leads to New European Bauhaus and other projects. So we always see first the global challenges. We know situation is changing daily. And sorry, after 4 days in Sarajevo, my voice is already a bit weak, but spending wonderful time with all of you people and getting to know you. So I think it's great. So getting back from global challenges really to local opportunities. And this is what we did also in this Amazon of Europe, which is part of the Danube region, and we really see it as region of opportunities. A region still with a lot of young people, all the heritage that we heard about, and we should really do better marketing of that, sell it better, be really more proud of what we have here. Sorry. And yeah, this is also the model for this Amazon of Europe tourism business ecosystem. So since 2018, there were several projects funding this development, because we can always see from different angles, because as we heard, there are numerous challenges, and we can always find a way to fund this through EU. But of course, the aim is that the businesses can be at the end self-sustainable. I will not go into much details. I have a few leaflets still here, brochures. So Amazon of Europe is the area of the UNESCO 5-country biosphere reserve along Mura, Drava, and Danube rivers in 5 countries of the Danube region. The specific is that it has 500 kilometers of still free-flowing rivers, so that's something special. Next slide, please. Yeah, but the area is unknown, rural, really like poor border regions, and we wanted to use this as a starting point for development to really bring socio-economic opportunities, but also to sustain the source of added value. So if we want to attract people and have the green tourism, we have to keep the nature. And the result is the bookable cycling trail, connecting all these towns and villages from Austria to Serbia, cycling along the rivers, and really the product divided into 27 stages, 27 days, and having packages that cyclists can book. So we think this is crucial, that all these 200 service providers from accommodations, restaurants, museums, attractions, they can all be booked. This is crucial. Oops. Can we go one slide back, please? So this is what we see as crucial, and then also adding up additional products like river journey and amazing moments, which is everything what we've heard also from other colleagues. And this was done through several projects, as you can see there. So 2 Interreg Danube from previous program and 1 COSME, where also these small companies, they got a funding of 3,000 euros. Maybe it doesn't sound much, but still for a small company in Serbia, it is something to help them with new website, with marketing and so on. And this led us to a new project, which is called Inclusive Border Cycling. And it won also the flagship status of the EUSDR, because we saw, okay, cycling product is now self-standing, it has a booking center, it works. How to make it more inclusive. And we decided to focus on seniors and on the privileged youth. And like I said, to develop the product which is more inclusive on the ground and for tourists. So I have a couple of pictures. So this is testing for the seniors. For them, we see they need shorter distances, e-bikes, really they love all the gastronomical experiences and so on. And then we also tried it with 2 groups of kids from residence houses. And it worked really well. It was Slovenians and Croatians, they really connected and they really appreciated that they can enjoy something like this that they otherwise couldn't. So we said, okay, definitely we want to work even more with young people. And we worked also together with 1 Central Europe project, Spaces for All. And we tried, okay, how can we adapt this Amazon of Europe products to persons with disabilities? And you can see that even a blind lady can cycle in a tandem. And we visited, this is a tomato, how do you say, production facility greenhouse, yes, in Slovenia. And we saw that, like we heard before, the service providers are not used to such type of visitors. You can go to the next slide. So for the blind lady, you have to describe where we are, what is the place like. She got then the model. There's this tower, Vinarium Tower in Lindava. She got a model so that she knew where we are going. And we also see that this kind of immersive experiences are really crucial. Like we could all together learn how to make this gibanica cake, and this is something. So you don't just eat, you really learn to make it, and it's a great team building experience. So the main message is that really we need to work on the long term, like you said, years and years. 3 years is only a start what 1 project can do, and constantly working and really helping them that they have available services every day. People who know how to work in English, German, welcome a blind person, a wheelchair person. So a lot of work still to be done. And the last project I'm mentioning is CAST. So we really learned that culture is the core, creating new values, so really added value of all these services that we have. We realized we don't need so many like guidelines, papers and so on, but just to agree, okay, our products will be inclusive, will be really authentic, so not something from China, will be environmentally friendly, and they will be sellable. And we have 11 pilots, and everywhere this is the core, and everyone can, do what they want. Work on from where they are to go so a few steps further within these values. So these are a few pictures from what we do with CAST. We just started, so we are now learning from each other. We have a castle in Transylvania. We have the Hleb in a naive art village in Croatia. We have the Moldova Tourism Board. So collection of 14 partners, and we all create inclusive, accessible tourism products based on local culture. This is an example from Slovenia, Carniolan Bee House, also a wonderful case of beekeeping, where in an old school they made a hostel, a cafe, a visitor center, and it's really a successful business. So one step at a time, each in our own environment, we can together create big changes. Before I conclude, I would like to also invite you to, I have 3 points, you can add them all. I would like to invite you to Ravne na Koroškem. It's a small town in Slovenia. On 20th and 21st of November, we have a conference on heritage as a basis for future vision and jobs creation. And if you are interested, just approach me and I can give you more information. So yeah, like I said, we have to work on the long term and really create these partnerships between public and private sector to succeed together. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your inputs. And since we are beyond the schedule, we just have to say thank you for all of you for being here with us, because it's lunchtime already and you are still here. Maybe just to conclude at the end of our panel discussion, that we need more networking, that there is a problem, let's say problem, but the more activities have to be done if we want to provide capacity building and human resources in tourism sector. We need better infrastructure, and we need more concrete project which will be visible wherever we go, just to be very concrete and focused on the final beneficiaries, and that local communities are a main driver of the tourism offering. So thank you so much. Thank you for our panelists, keynote speakers, organizer, everyone here in room, and enjoy in lunch. Thank you.